There it is. Look, we have the cast net throwing technique. Next time, I think it'll be an Olympic event in the actual Olympics. The hand-thrown cast net. Whoa, it landed there?
It landed closed but right on top in a row.
Let's see what we're going to get. Man, I'm so hungry. Look, my stomach is growling from hunger. My small intestine already ate the large one. Let's see, Kayo-sama, send us something. Let's see. Oh, wow. No, look at this one. See? Why do you study? So you learn how to throw the net so you don't throw it all wrong.
A plate of these is $20.
$20 easy.
How much did it cost us to get it out?
Like this? Look, make sure the fish is fresh. Look, check the eyes. Make sure the eyes are bright.
The gill's nice and red, okay?
Oh, look at that. Wow.
When it's been frozen for a long time, they turn kind of pink and lose that bright red color.
Look, this city has a big problem. Tilapia. When we hear the word tilapia, we think of a delicious fried mojarra, something I'm going to enjoy. Yes, of course, but here it's a problem. It's an invasive species and it's destroying the ecosystem, so the government doesn't know how to get rid of them. So when someone catches and eats them, they thank them. So today we're going to see if it's possible to survive in the city. Miami eating only tilapia that you catch on the street, is it possible? This fish has become one of the dominant species in all the canals, rivers, and ponds, not only in the city of Miami, but throughout South Florida. They are very resilient, so they can live practically anywhere, but at the same time they cause a lot of damage to the environment. They uproot plants that are crucial for the ecosystem when they're making their nests, and native species can't compete with them for food. That's why the numbers of native species, which are crucial for the ecosystem, are decreasing. And the numbers of tilapia, which aren't from this ecosystem, are exploding. They even live in saltwater or brackish water now, devastating the population of saltwater fish, which are crucial for coral reefs. That's why there are no restrictions on catching them. You can fish, kill, and consume as many as you want with no limit.
Miami's sewer system is one of the most advanced, and that's what makes there be plenty of water everywhere, but never without nests. And the sea is close by, it always stays at sea level.
And this is what allowed invasive fish species to spread to every ditch and puddle in the city. And above all, can you survive by eating these tilapias? Because I'm hungry and I don't have any money. I can't go into a restaurant, so I depend on finding fish in this city that I can eat and figuring out where to cook them. Well, in public parks, places where you can legally make a fire, can you live off free fat, eating only what you catch? In Miami, we'll see. Over there is the Miami River. That river runs through the city. I'm going to try my luck in this canal. The problem with this one is that it has very few public access points. Most of them are private residences. And here in the United States, where most people have long firearms, it's best not to take any chances. So I'm going to look for the few public entrances and try to fish there. Ah, look, there are manatees here. There's charcoal. I didn't expect to see manatees in a canal. This is just a canal on the street. Well, there they are. The first fish I'm going to focus on is the tilapia. It's sad to kill the little fish, but the fish is destructive. I mean, it's bad, it's harmful to the ecosystem. And that costs the city council and the government a lot of money. They've even hired people who are exclusively dedicated to hunting tilapia, and this also incurs an expense for the government. So, as the good Samaritan that I am, I tell them, stop, don't spend any more here. I'm going to eat the ones I can catch, the ones I can fit, the ones that let themselves be caught. Let's see. Let's start fishing for tilapia. The first obstacle I encountered, to my surprise, something I never expected, is the lack of public access to the water. That's right, we see pictures of Miami and it looks like almost everything is water, all oceanfront or canal. Yes, there are many public spaces, but places with solid railings for fishing are few. There are many spaces that aren't public, they're private. I didn't see any signs that say fishing is prohibited. I only saw signs that say no trespassing. From the bridge, you can see there are a lot of fish over there. Look, when you arrive and try to get closer, it's private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted by law, even without firearms. Respecting private property is always key, not just for the person creating content or for tourists, but for everyone wherever you are. Respect private property. So let's keep looking in this park. Google Maps tells us that this is a public area, a green space maintained by the city of Miami, and that this is an area for everyone. But here, well, there's a lock, so let's keep looking. There's also an entrance here that's not fenced, but it says, keep out authorized personnel only. There's a bridge here. I'll try to get a better view from here since it's closed over there too. If you don't live here in Miami and you're not familiar with the area and you're looking for a place to fish, the hardest part isn't fishing itself, but finding a place where you can do it. Same thing, this entrance is on the official list of public places on Miami's official website, and as soon as you get here, take your public spot. In fact, in recent years, the city of Miami has lost much of its public waterfront spaces. Hunger is hunger. When you're hungry, you're hungry. I don't have a fishing rod or anything, and I can't catch it by hand. Fish aren't iguanas, so I'm going to ask the expert here for help. Look, the marine biology engineer with a degree and a specialty in invasive species and a master's in cooking fish. Look, see how humble it is? Our fishing spot is basically a puddle by the side of the highway. Look at the guardrails, the cars over there. Very humble. But we're going to gather food. Food is sacred. It doesn't matter where you get it from. All food is worthy. In fact, it's even better. I say it's better to get food from here, from a puddle by the side of the highway, than to go to McDonald's. Yeah, it's healthier. There they're eating processed sausage meat made from pig fetuses. What you're eating is pure death. That's what you're eating. Oh, how delicious. I'm going to have my free fried mojara in the puddles you find on the street. In Miami, the whole city of Miami, a huge metropolitan area, is full of thousands of these puddles with water where you can get fresh tilapia. And it's legal, not only legal, but the authorities actually want you to do it because it puts Florida's ecosystems at risk. Let's look at the details. If the tilapia population keeps growing at the rate it's growing, this would mean serious problems for all of South Florida. These city canals would lose their natural vegetation, causing the water to smell bad. It would destroy native species and spread diseases to other birds and reptiles. It sounds like a joke, it seems insignificant. It seems like it doesn't matter, but a single species can destroy the ecosystem and can change the temperature of the city? I came to wash my hands to rinse my fish and I saw that the lizard was already there. Here comes the lizard. I avoid the water completely now, even accidentally. The fish we caught smelled so much, obviously. We were casting the net when the crocodile appeared. What's the point now? We should just leave. The brave one is going to wash his hands near the shore. What if the crocodile comes out and grabs him by the hand? Look, you can't really see. The water is dark. Suddenly it appears, grabs your hand and pulls you in. How is it still moving and alive? I removed its scales, all the internal organs, the gills, not the bronchi, and the knife right here between the eyes to the brain, and it still wants to go. Look, I say it's just impulses from the nervous system now. I don't think it's a sign of life, but it's still moving. Well, I'm going to clean it thoroughly before putting it in here. On the other hand, this fish could be an invaluable ally in the fight against malnutrition and hunger in the world. Yes, 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 yes. Look, there are many parts of the world where people don't have a balanced diet to eat because of economic reasons or lack of arable land. This is where this species comes in. Tilapia is a cheap and accessible way to consume protein, much cheaper than rice or chicken. It is highly nutritious, rich in vitamins and minerals, making it ideal for pregnant women and children. With an easy and accessible aquaculture technique, it can grow in large quantities and quickly at any scale, huge mass production, or keep a few at home for yourself. Additionally, it has the potential to create jobs, and it also reduces the enormous pressure on local rivers and fisheries to produce for a growing population here. This city of Miami is evidence that a city with hungry citizens should invest in having tilapias. Ah, well, now that I have the tilapia, what do I do? Where do I eat it? Where do I cook it? Well, I could make a fire right there, right where I caught it, but I don't know if it's possible to make a fire. There's no sign that says campfires are prohibited. There isn't, but I don't know. So, to not take any chances, to be 100% sure, I'm going to go to a public park where there are public grills. And there I know for sure, 100% guaranteed, that you can make a fire and cook. And while I was walking toward the grill, I realized something. You know, when you're walking, you're just thinking about things in your own universe. I realized that even in fishing, an activity as simple as going out to fish, you can buy a hook for just a few cents. It's also affected by social classes, the way you fish, the place where you fish. The activity of fishing itself is also directly linked to the income level of the person who's fishing. Look, in this water there are a lot more fish because there's less fishing, but it's private. You have to have one of these boats. These are the best areas to fish, where the private docks are, where there are more fish. But they're restricted, they're not open to the public, and the people who use these facilities, the owners of these boats, well, they don't fish, they don't need to. On all these bridges in the city, I've always seen Spanish-speaking brothers fishing. It's always a Latino, always in the fishing clubs. In private places, where you pay to get in and they rent you all sorts of useless stuff you don't need. There you see Euro-Americans and some African-Americans or European tourists, but here on the city bridges, it's always a Spanish-speaking brother. In restaurants, when you get water, like drinking water or any dish, it always comes with a little lime. Look at these. Keep them. Don't let the waitress take them. Save them, and your limes are right here. Look. The city is huge with many canals, even though many public areas have been lost to privatization. So many parks open to the public that have been closed off because a private developer is building something there. Even so, there are still many public areas you can go to. Hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of area for fishing. Don't go near the mansions, because there for sure they'll call the police on you, but from the public area you're fine. I thought that might happen to me while making this video. Most of the time should be spent looking for tilapia and catching them, not spending most of the time walking, moving from one place to another, from where I catch them to where it's legal to cook them. But so I don't waste time, like a fool just walking while I get there. What I'm going to do is look for paper and flammable materials, little sticks, twigs, leaves, so that when I get there, I'll already have what I need to start the fire. Check the map. It says there are public grills on this avenue. I'm going to keep looking until I find one, and you'll see. Something I've noticed is that even if you don't bring anything to fish with, there's always a Spanish-speaking brother who will lend you a hook and fishing line. Look. And for those who are going to say that fishing is a very cruel and sadistic activity for the fish, yeah, but how do you think humans survive? How do you think every coastal city on planet Earth was established? Now it's hooked. I have enough firewood. Throw it in, and the lemon we saved from the restaurant, remember? And a bit of what I brought from the Airbnb. And while I wait for it to cook, I'm gonna go cut more firewood. Here are more iguanas. Look, some are moving around and dropping more sticks, almost like they're asking, hey, want more firewood? After waiting about 35 minutes, look, wow, it's well cooked. Look, see all the holes, there are no raw parts, it's all well cooked. Wow. And for those who will ask, how will you put the fish on the table in the park? Sir, I came to eat street food in India without a plate or anything. This meat is healthy, white and fat-free, nothing more. So, in conclusion, can you live in Miami, survive just by eating invasive fish, catching them for free and grilling them for free? The answer is yes.